Hi friend, how are you on May 19th, our magical quilting May? I am Pat Sloan for my daily challenges, my daily quilt challenges. So if you haven't gotten your calendar yet, you can download it below. And on here I have not only the sew-alongs that are going on, but I also have the challenge, like the challenge item. So, you know, if you want to make notes, if you just want to cross it off. So today's challenge for the 19th is called Just One. That could be a lot of things, right? Well, here's what your challenge is, if you choose to take it. So tell me about that one quilt that you made that you were like, okay, I made that one. I am never making that again. One was enough. I think we've all made one quilt like that. Possibly it happens early on when our skill sets aren't quite so fabulous yet. So it, you know, might have been long and tedious, or sometimes it is later on when you have a lot of skills and it's kind of a masterpiece, or, you know, one with a lot of effort that went into it. And you're like, okay, you know, I did that one. I don't need to do one like that again. So for me, mine is a double wedding ring. The lady that I took all of my beginner classes from, and then started, you know, just kept taking classes with her for a little while. You know, I really had no idea about patterns, what was hard, what wasn't hard, and she was a great technician. And so she liked to teach us how and why everything happened the way it did and how to create it ourselves, which is why I found pattern making very easy to transition to, because I already had all this really great base from her on how to draft patterns. So this class was a double wedding ring where you draft your own rings, and it was all by hand. So it's all the first few classes I took with her were all hand piecing. And double wedding rings now, a lot of people, you know, have gotten comfortable doing them on the machine, but at that time, she was teaching it by hand, so I hand pieced it, and I think there were 9 rings, so it wasn't that big. And I love it. When if I can find it, I'll share a picture when I share the link to this over at Facebook. I have to go find a picture of it though, or I don't know where it is. It's up in my quilt vault, the quilt room with all the quilts upstairs. So I actually did do a second double wedding ring. I did one with, I think, 4 blocks and gave it to my sister-in-law many years ago. So my double wedding ring was actually like my 3rd quilt I ever made, these 9 rings. And to say, you know, one is enough, you know, I have not felt a great urge to make another one, but I imagine that someday I will. Someday, because my skill sets are so different now, that I will try one. I may try it on the machine, or I might do it by hand. I don't know. I might do it with my die cut machine, because I think there's a double wedding ring for that. So I use the Gemini die cut. So that would be kind of cool to have all the shapes die cut and then you just sit and sew. That sounds pretty good. But I don't know. It's like one of those very classic patterns. So tell me about, you know, that I have to do. I have to, you know, I have one, the 9 blocks, but I might want a bigger one. So tell me what your one quilt is, the quilt that you did that you're like, okay, I do not need to do that one again. That's the challenge. The other things going on, I have rainbow blocks. So today I have one with text, a green fabric I found with text, and I think I used that in a sew along, and I don't have a lot of it left, so it's kind of fun to put it in here. And then this one has raindrops, and I didn't cut it so that the raindrops would be like, you know, up or down. They're sideways raindrops. So this is a sleeting rain day in green, because of course we're still in green. We'll be in green for days and days and days on our rainbow. And I also have, so I don't forget, I have my Let It Go item that I'm putting in my bag. Some of you, some of our friends over at Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook have a box that you're filling up, bags that you're filling up of Let It Go items, so that by the end of this month you might have at least 21 if you've picked one a day, if not more. I need to do a sort of a deep dive into some of my areas because I've got duplicates. Anyways, let me go on. This was what was extra from backing. So I did the backing, the quilt's done, did the hanging sleeve, and I still have this big chunk. Now this fabric does not excite me a whole lot, and so I really don't feel a great need to keep this. So it's going to go in the bag, and I have a friend who they take a lot of scraps like this and they do things for charity projects. And so that is where this is going. So it's a kind of a hefty chunk of stuff to get rid of. Yes. I don't know where I am in the rainbow blocks either. I have to go look. I looked yesterday, I know, but I've forgotten already. That's what happens. It's what happens. Two things, 3 things, 4 things, 800 things. How many things? So behind me, let's talk about what's going on my wall. Okay, so first let me tell you, I went and hunted up the group of group of quilts in predominantly greens and yellows to do my living room, to take all the blue and white down and put up the green and yellow. And when I was going through things, I found this one and I'd forgotten about it. So let me pull it up here. I'll go in close a little bit. There's Norm the gnome over on the edge there. The pattern name is called Norm and Nanette, so of course his name is Norm. I don't have Nanette yet. So here it is. This was the sampler, the smaller version of the sampler from the Perfect 5 book. I just love it. That bottom left block there, that one there. I love that block. I want to do a whole quilt with that block. That is the coolest block. And then the little houses, they're kind of hidden behind the red thing. See the little houses, 2 sizes of them. So what we did for that sampler was, you know, like a lot of these books with the multiple quilts, is we're doing a sampler so you get to try out all the blocks. So this is the Perfect 5 book, and I sewed along with Fat Quarter Shop. You know, there's different, here's one of the projects that's in there, so we did a couple blocks from that. And what they had is they had a little bit bigger quilt, and I didn't want to do that big a quilt, so I did a little bit smaller version and made this layout. There's also a really great ruler they did so that it cuts, you know, like it's a 5-inch ruler for just right, goes on the charm pack. And so that way you don't, you know, I just think that it's great to have a ruler that's going to go with something I'm going to make a lot. And I had this in the rolling assistant back here because I have a set of charm packs that I want to do something again from the book. But I was excited because I'd kind of forgotten about it. Isn't that horrible? I had forgotten, let me just put this over here. I had forgotten about the quilt. And now, like, I'm not going to hang that one on the wall. I think that one's going to lay on the chair because the pineapples are going to go on the wall, and I have a few others. So tomorrow, for the daily video, or the next day, sometime this week, let's put it that way, I will do the video in my living room, and I'll show you the quilts that I put up. So I did that before where I sat on the sofa and did it in there. So I'll do that again and have it switched over. I'm excited. So yesterday I showed you the triangles. I'm working on that still to get the table runner done. It doesn't take long, but you know, I had other things to work on. So I'm working on that. Today is Tuesday. That means on Thursday, okay, today's Tuesday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is Childhood Games, and we only have that block and then 2 more. So we're getting close. And you know, if you hadn't heard, maybe you hadn't heard that I put out the next Sew Along, Going on a Picnic. That is what will follow for the Block Wednesday Sew Along. So I have a link down here. And we're using a fat quarter bundle and then a background and a border and a sashing. So it's really simple because right now it's so hard to get fabric, you know, into stores in order for you to buy it and get out, just because everybody is on reduced staff still in many parts of the country. And so, like, you know, they just don't have the people there can't come in to do the work that they normally do. So everything is a little bit slower, which means it takes longer to get your order. So I want you to be able to get that order in. That one starts June 24th. So, oops. So it is 12 blocks, and I show you the layout so that you get, you know, this time you see the layout. In the first block, I'll have the layout so that you have it and can actually start setting it if you want to do it that way. So that's so tomorrow is Block Wednesday. Thursday is the first week of the Jolly Bar. So I know a lot of you ordered and are going to be sewing along. If you're still waiting on your book, you know, it runs for like 5 weeks, so you will be able to catch up. And here is the spool block. Oh, here's the sampler. You know, so just like the one on the wall there, this sampler is a row by row. I am so excited. I have not done a row by row for a while, so I am really, really excited. And this was the spool block, so I wanted to show you that again, because I am using the, where is it? I'm using the Canning Days fabric. That's the fabric that my blocks are all made out of. But I am seriously thinking of doing one of the quilts, maybe one of the super easy ones, I don't know, or maybe the butterfly block with the scarlet and sage. Like do the whole quilt while we're doing that sew along, just make blocks from this for one of the others. We'll see. I just want to sew that up, you know, and if you don't sew this stuff, all of a sudden it's like poof, you know, you go on to the next thing and you never get to sew it and you never get to enjoy it. And so I'm thinking that while the Jolly Bar is going on, I'll actually make a Jolly Bar quilt too, just with the one block, maybe the butterflies since it's spring, right? Okay, friends, this is going to be an awesome day. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for using all my links. And I will see you online, my Facebook page, Go Along with Pat Sloan. I love you. See you later. Mwah. Bye-bye.